Hey guys, this is our video for us to discuss the summary for those of you who had to read the story Moose on the Move. So that was a pretty fun story where we learned about the moose being flown from a helicopter and traded out for longhorn sheep. So we're going to go ahead and go through the same graphic organizer that I shared with you. We are going to get a little more in depth though, because I know that you guys can do it. We have high expectations on, I have high expectations on you at school. And I just want to continue as much of that as possible. And I know you guys can do it. And I'm going to help you guys fill out this graphic organizer. You do not have to fill out the graphic organizer. You are just required to write a summary. This graphic organizer, though, is to help you with that. So if you can bear with me for a second, I'm going to do quite a few of these to move them around and get them going. And then I will help you guys fill this out. So you guys can use this graphic organizer to help you write your summary paragraph. Remember, the summary is just what happened in the story in your own words. We are not retelling the story word for word. We're just giving the important points here, okay? We're just wanting to say, hey, you don't have time to read the whole story? Guess what? I have a little summary here for you. It's quick, it's 5 to 6 sentences, and it'll tell you what the whole story is about, so you don't have to read it, okay? So the title of the story was obviously Moose on the Move, okay? And then characters. Again, this is a little, whoa. This is Klein, it's going crazy. Do not know what just happened there. This is a little tricky to use because it's an informational text, but there are still characters. So we had obviously the moose. I mean, it doesn't really talk or anything, but or they don't, the group of them, but they are an important part of the story. And then we have Roger. Oops, I did not capitalize his name. Roger Schenkel. Hope I spelled his name right. And then we also had the wildlife, the District of Wildlife, so DOW. I'm going to shorten that because they did in the paragraph, and because this is a small graphic organizer, it'll help us. And then we also had, I guess if we want to say, we can say the longhorn sheep. If the moose are, then so is the longhorn sheep. That's kind of stretching it as far as characters go. Okay, so for the beginning, we are going to also be making this a little bit better than we did yesterday. I want to get a little more in depth. I also want to use some transitional phrases. So we're going to start off with things like first, next, then, finally, that kind of thing, okay? And whenever we use one of those words, we want to start it and then put a comma. It reminds us that we need to pause after we do that. So the first part of the story, at the very beginning, we know that Roger Schenkel had this idea to move the moose to Grand Mesa, Colorado, with the District of Wildlife. So I'm going to go ahead and just type that out for you. First, Roger Schenkel shared his idea to move moose, I did not mean to capitalize, moose, to Grand, hold on one second, I'm going to pause this. One second, I have some messages popping up that I don't want bothering our video. Give me one second. Okay guys, sorry about that. I was trying to fix something. Our computer is somehow connected to one of our phones. So every time somebody was messaging us, it was coming through. Anyway, hopefully I fixed it. If not, I'm really sorry. So we talked about, okay, so first Roger Schenkel shared his idea to move moose to Grand Mesa, Colorado with the District of Wildlife. Okay. So then what happens next in the passage or article? Oh my goodness. Well, you guys can think about it. After he has that discussion, what do they do? What does the DOW do? Yes, they do. All right, so next, oh my goodness, I am having all kinds of typos. The DOW, the District of Wildlife, spent years looking at the habitat in Grand Mesa. They decided it was a desirable place for the moose. Okay. Ah, Mrs. Klein. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay. So then, at the very end, what happens? After they decide that it was a desirable place for them to live? Yes. So they ended up being able to trade some of the article ends with Utah has too many of the moose and Colorado has too many of the longhorn sheep. So they ended up trading. And so that was kind of nice because then that's how Colorado got to have more, and it helped out with the overpopulation for the animals. So there weren't too many moose that were eating all of the fields and everything over in Utah, and then Colorado wasn't having too many of the longhorn sheep and that kind of thing. So was it bighorn or longhorn? I don't have it in front of me. If it's bighorn, I'm sorry. I'm typing longhorn, but you guys can obviously switch that to bighorn. Now that I'm saying that, I'm second guessing myself and I don't want to switch screens right now. So, okay, so I'm going to start this off with finally, comma, Utah had too many moose and Colorado had too many longhorn sheep. The two states traded the animals to help with overpopulation. Okay, so that's our basic idea. That's the summary of what we read. For your paragraph then, what you're going to be writing, you will be writing this sentence right here. You will be writing these two sentences right here. And then you will be writing these two sentences right here. You're going to write them all in one paragraph. You may write this on your notebook paper or computer paper, whatever paper you have at your house is fine. You may write this on, you can type it on a Google Doc and share it with me. Make sure you do Amy Klein, C-L-I-N-E. And then remember, when you guys are writing your paragraphs, you need to indent the first line. And then you'll write to the end of the page, and then you will come back down to the second line and start at the beginning of the line. You're not going to indent the second line, and you'll write till the end again, and you keep doing that. When you get to a period, you do not start a new line. You keep writing until you get to the end there, and then you start back at the red line on your paper. Okay, So hopefully that will help you guys. You guys can freeze the screen to have the information if you need it. You can use your own words and just use my ideas. That is totally fine. I know you guys will do well with this, and I'm super excited to see and read your summaries. I will look forward to hearing from you guys, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye.